Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Mind Podcast. It is me, Lennon Caitler, here with my co-host,
Lucas O'Dell.
Let's freaking go, Lucas. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Up you?
Doing pretty good. Going to Halifax today.
Yeah. He is actively leaving in what time? I don't know where to find the
Roughly
time.
6 hours.
1 hour and 15 minutes. 45 minutes. He goes to the airport.
Real.
Why are you going to the airport 5 hours before your plane leaves?
I'm not. I have to drop off Bean at his caretaker's place for the evening, and then I have to take
Leak
transit.
the full address of this caretaker.
No! Currently not doxing myself. Let's go. Let's go.
Cringe.
So, since the last episode of the Lost Mind Podcast, what has taken place, Sir Lucas O'Dell?
Times occurred.
Yes. What event might have happened? I was hoping you'd clue into this question.
I know what question you're asking. Vancouver Regionals.
What? Vancouver Regionals, our hometown regionals.
That's
Lucas,
pretty
how
sick.
did the tournament go for you?
I came 15th.
15th place.
Wow.
That's pretty sick.
I have like 180, I think.
That's pretty
I
sick.
don't know. I played this Dragon Bolt list on screen here. List is pretty gas.
Pretty gas?
I played the same 60
Pretty
as
gas.
some of my testing partners. 2 Dusclops is still ideal. Definitely still ideal. 3 Arvin, 3 Lance is very good. Just being able to have Lance in your opening hand is very, very, very strong.
2 Dust North Superior.
No, 2 Dusclops.
You know what the Masters first place list had in it?
2 Duskmore.
2 Dust North, 1 Dusclops.
What?
You said butt.
2 Dusclops is still good.
Guys, Lucas said butt.
I really like 2 Dusclops. I think it's ideal.
Did you know you said butt?
Yes, I did. This list is like a little bit less tech for Bolt Mirror. It's like -1 Vacuum, +1 Sinnoh, just because like you want to tech for lugs. I hit some pretty bad matchups, but no, I didn't. I hit like 3 Dango, but like 2 of them I still beat anyway, just because item lock is crazy or they bricked.
Crazy work.
Real. Okay. How about you? How'd you end up in the tournament?
So I played this darned here Lost Box list, and I went 1, 3, and 1. Hit some pretty bad beats, but that's okay. I had fun. I was flower selecting on it.
Yeah,
Really did enjoy that. But I more so was just focusing on like having fun at the hometown regional. So
That's fair.
I honestly wasn't taking this one that seriously. So
Joltek.
Joltek was pretty sick. I played against a couple Dragapults, and both times they butted me. Or no, they both went first and put Klefki in the active. And in response, I went poffing for Joltek and powered up my
What were their
hands.
reactions?
They were like, one of them read it. It was sick. I got to say, "We got a reader." I love saying that. I love it when people read my cards because I get to say that line. I do it every time. It's pretty classic. But yeah, pretty good list. Artisan better than Pokestop for sure. But yeah, Lost Box is one of the decks that's like super variance ridden, I think.
Yeah, there's
multiple
a lot of
times
skill, but it's also
where
a lot
you
of luck.
multiple times where I just selecting into like double rod or double gate this event and like prizing the energy I needed in a certain scenario or like having to lost zone.
Yeah,
super
like you
important stuff.
drew 11 and whiffed and hit all the energy in your deck.
Yeah, there was one time where I needed like to have 1 energy left in my deck to gate. I had to like double gate off of 1 rod, and I drew all of the possible energies I could draw out of like a third of my deck. I drew like maybe a third of my deck, and I drew all the energies in there, which was unfortunate.
That's
but
pretty fire.
yeah, I wish I could have gone a little further with the deck because I felt like this was pretty good, but wasn't meant to be, and that's quite all right. But what I kind of wanted to focus on more today, Lucas, I don't really think anybody needs to hear about Vancouver results.
No, we need to go in depth about Vancouver.
Yeah, because there is Stockholm, I guess, but
Stockholm.
I've pranked Lucas into thinking I'm going to Stockholm.
Oh my god.
He actually believed me.
You suck.
I got him. I'm not actually going to Stockholm.
He was straight up saying the entire time, yeah, I'm going to Stockholm. Like casually too. Like not even like, yeah, I'm going to Stockholm. We're leaving like this time. Like he was casually saying, yeah, I'm going to Stockholm. And then I would be like, are you actually going to Stockholm? And he's like, yeah. I cannot believe you just embarrassed me on the pod. That's insane.
Let's go. That's my classic move.
He genuinely made me believe it. Oh my god.
Yeah, but for all the Stockholm enjoyers out there, sorry, we're not going to talk any more pre-roll content because that's pretty lame, honestly. Pretty boring.
Yeah.
Who really needs to hear about more pre-rotation
I'm
content?
just mad that he pranked me.
I pranked Lucas so
He
hard.
got me.
So both myself and Lucas, as to avoid just scrolling city leagues endlessly, which appears to happen every once in a while, but we wanted to just talk about our 2 favorite decks that we're both most excited about playing. I'm super excited. Maybe a bit of a soft announcement. Well, not really a soft announcement. I have canceled all events for the rest of the season aside from Worlds, outside of out of
America.
personal political issues with America. I'm not going to deep dive too much into it because this is, again, not a political
Do a
podcast.
full deep dive.
But just to put it out there, I have no real reason to play pre-rotation, but I'm really excited to play some cups and league challenges, local leagues with some post-rotation decks. I really think right after rotation hits is a really fun time to play the game. So I've got a couple decks that I'm super excited about playing with. Luke is out here closing the door.
Sorry, I opened the window because it was getting pretty hot in here.
I've pulled up just from City Leagues. I mean, I haven't really done a whole lot of deep dive testing yet because I was focused on Vancouver, and then right after Vancouver had a bunch of work I had to get done. So was working quite a bit, and now I might have some time to play some post-rotation now that I'm going on a little trip here. I'll have some free time there. But pulled up a Dragapult list I didn't hate too much outside of the Luminous, I think, which is like a standout weird card. But
yeah, I think if you're playing Luminous, you should just be playing Monkey.
Yeah, probably.
Which I do actually quite like now because being able to go like Monkey plus just Monkey onto a Pika, and Pika's in like a lot of decks.
Yeah, I really want to try just like straight Pult without Dusknoir, similar to like the pre-rotation version. I don't know how well that will do without Lance, but I really do want to try it. I think like that is kind of like, now that the little bit of dust that settled on the pre-rotation format that's kind of come out as like one of the better decks, is just the straight Pult.
So what encourages you to play Pult this format?
Pult is just a broken attacker, and it has
Dracloak.
Dracloak.
That attack's pretty good.
And you get to Budu, so you just get to sit behind your Dracloaks. It's the same reason that it's super powerful for pre-rotation. You basically just lose Jacques, or not Jacques. You lose
Lance and Minion.
And the V package. I don't think the V package is as big of a deal as losing Lance is.
Yeah, not being able to play triple Lance is so sad.
Yeah, but
I'm so sorry,
we see
Lance.
Jacques here.
We hated on you for too long.
We did. But Jacques here, it does a decent imitation. Obviously, so much worse. But it can, in this version as well, can find Dusknoir Dusclops, which is pretty relevant.
Pretty good. Being able to Dracloak into Jacques and then Jacques into Clops is pretty good.
Yeah, but we do see the 3-2-2 line of Dusknoir, which I also do like. We do have a little bit more space post-rotation because we lose some cards. We do have to fill the void. With, as you see, some more just draw supporters. You're seeing 4 Arven, 4 Iono. But the Jacques definitely is a decent way to like find double Dracloak on turn 2, or find like Dracloak plus Dragapult or your Dusknoir Dusclops line.
Yeah, like I think Jacques is a good enough replacement.
Yeah, and you do get to see, we get to play Artisan now for extra consistency because you don't have to play Temple. Lost City rotates.
Lost Vacuum rotates.
Temple rotates, but you wouldn't play it anyways because Double Turbo rotates and Lugia rotates, so no real reason to use it. And you do want to have a stadium
rotates.
bump. Yeah, so you do want to have a stadium bump for Jamming Tower, because I think Jamming Tower is going to be a pretty popular stadium.
I agree.
Because Vacuum rotates. It's the only real way to interact with tools.
Yeah, Jamming Towers I think is going to see an uptick in play. It's also one of the only real ways to... I'm hoping this Discord notification isn't coming up. It's one of the only real ways to deal with Sparkling Crystal, and a lot of decks are playing Crystal.
Yeah, we'll see. One of Lucas's picks here is going to have Crystal in it as well, but... yeah, I think Pult, for a lot of the same reasons that it is good pre-rotation, is going to be a powerhouse post-rotation.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why you'll see, like, the decks are specifically teching for it. It's a very good deck.
Yeah, I do think this may struggle a bit into, like, the Terra Box archetype that is going around.
No, it definitely struggles.
Just because, like, you
Box,
just get Wellspringed super hard.
Definitely struggle. And they're playing Lily's Clefairy.
Yeah, Clefairy definitely just one-shots your Pult. That is another thing that Pult doesn't have to deal with, is, like, the legitimate threat of getting one-shot by Clefairy. I think Clefairy is going to be a pretty widespread tech between, like, Gardevoir archetypes, the Terra Boxes. There is just, like, the straight Ogerpon Clefairy deck, which I really don't think should be discounted too much. I think that deck is pretty powerful as just a turbo deck. But
yeah, it's kind of just like Raging Bolt.
Yeah,
yeah.
But as a one prize,
same idea.
Actually playing Lily's Pearl and like 4 Lily's Clefairy, I think in a deck is pretty viable. Like attacking with Clefairy going second as a one prizer in a format without Vacuum that only Jamming Tower works. The thing with Jamming Tower is it doesn't discard the tool. So like if you play it and then don't get value off the Jamming Tower because you like had an off turn or something, then your opponent can just bump the stadium.
Yeah, like if you have to go Jamming Tower plus research and you whiff, it's like way worse.
Yeah, exactly. So like Jamming Tower isn't as reliable as an answer to something like Lily's Pearl that Vacuum would be, because Vacuum is just like guaranteed that the card is gone, whereas Jamming Tower keeps it in play if you miss the knockout. So
real.
I do think that Pult has some challenges, like we were talking about. Like the Terra Box archetype seems like it's pretty tough.
And the wall matchups.
Yeah, the wall matchups could be pretty rough, but I do think like
with this thick of a Dusknoir line,
yeah, I think you're fine.
You can have a chance, yeah, for sure.
You also can play Devo pretty commonly in Pult and just kind of.
That does seem pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the only problem is Milotic does stop the Phantom Dive damage.
Yeah, but like you can Dusknoir and then Devo.
Like, yeah, you can go like
Or
Dusknoir,
Dusclops,
Dusclops, Devo. Like, you can just win, like, by making their board state only Milotics and then going Devo. Seems pretty good. So I would probably, from this list, cut Luminous plus Devo.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yep. I really like Dragapult.
I also,
very
if you want a space in this deck, you do not need to play 3-Pult. Actually, maybe you do now.
I think you do. You don't have easy access.
Maybe you do now because, yeah, you don't have the Lances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's Dragapult. I don't think there's like a whole lot we can really talk about with this deck just because it's so popular pre-rotation.
But yeah,
but it's here.
There's some reasons why it's a good poster too.
Let's
go to your next deck. I think it's a lot more intriguing.
Yeah, I really like the prospect of Turbo Hands, like future hands. This was like really popular at EUIC last year, not the most recent EUIC, the one before. As like a premier kind of turbo deck. Hands with the damage modification of Iron Crowns is quite powerful because when you like as like a Miraidon player or like a Chen Pao player, like those are the main two hands. Like even as like a Lugia player, you don't really think of hands like having the option of hitting higher thresholds because you just don't have any damage mods. When you look at this
no
deck,
way you mentioned Chen Pao before Lugia.
Well, Lugia, I hate Lugia. That deck sucks.
That's fair.
But anyways, hands can hit for 220 with amp, up to 220 with 4 crowns plus a future booster. Not that that's going to happen very often, but like think of Pokemon like Regigigas or like, I mean, pre-rotation there's Radiant Charizard, but like any one prizer that has more than 120 HP, hands is pretty bad against, obviously, because you can't just kill it. But crowns lets you really increase your like damage output, and then like arm press as an attack is hitting 220
It's
pretty
really
easily.
good. Yeah.
So like hands is just like a really premier attacker with all the damage mods.
And actually having a good damage one prizer is
and
really valuable.
Miraidon with peak acceleration, like poking for like 80, 100, sometimes even 120, and then accelerating energies. You do see the one psychic, so we could use twin shuttles or like Miraidon's attacks. We have like a pretty good answer to things like
wall.
Yeah, like you need like
in a corner
into for graph, yeah.
Yeah, you need psychic energy for Farig. Because into Farig, would you be able to one-shot it? How much HP? It has 270, right? 260?
If it has 260, you could one-shot
You
it.
can one-shot it then. I think it has... Wait, we can just check over here because one of my decks is walls.
It is 260.
That's 260, okay.
So Miraidon can theoretically one-shot for graph. That is pretty hard. Like, you have to have all of your damage mods down.
Yeah, but you just specifically play for that. And then you can go, like... You can go Miraidon with a future booster, and then you can Super Rod, and then bring the entire combo back. And they can't really do much about it. As long as you just play smart, that matchup should be pretty good, which is intriguing because Walls is very good.
Yeah,
like,
and I think
Walls
this is going to have like a pretty good matchup into things like Dragapult, pretty good matchup into... I think this can probably have a serviceable like Terra Box matchup. Pika might be a little bit problematic, but like if you're presenting Miraidon to them early and you're putting the pressure on, like you can gust around Pika or you can just two-shot the Pika because you do have amp. So like punching the Pika for like with an arm press or something isn't that big of a deal because you can still technically take like 1.5 prizes per attack you're attacking into the Pikachu. So I don't think like this is going to have a too terrible time into like something like Terra Box because also like
I think we'll be like slightly unfavored.
You're not super scared of something like
Wellspring.
You are kind of scared of Wellspring because you can get Saw Block pretty easily, actually. So you probably want to play an extra switch in this. And you also do have Psychic for twin shuttles.
I don't know. Maybe.
So.
Maybe, actually. I don't know. I think if you play smart, it might not be too bad. You can probably just go 3-3.
Yeah, I think my point is, if you're looking for like a premier aggressive deck, like something like Miraidon, I don't think that Miraidon really functions as like just a research deck without Sealstone to the same extent that it functions pre-rotation. I think this is probably like a better option than Miraidon for like a turbo generator deck.
Miraidon just loses a lot of value because you lose Raichu, so this deck can kind of replace that one-shot option.
Yeah, as like an Iron Hands abuser, I think this is probably one of the premier ways to use Iron Hands.
And Iron Hands is the streets are saying it's a pretty good attack.
Yeah, and like this, it's funny because this deck, like all of the cards you see on screen here, were legal for EUIC. This deck has not changed like a single card basically since EUIC a couple years ago. I know EUIC lists were definitely like higher on the counter catchers, lower on the bosses, so maybe you could make like that swap. Theory being like you'll use Miraidon, they go on odd prizes, you're basically able to counter catcher the whole game now.
Just take 2, just go 2-2-2.
Yeah.
But I think that format was a lot more like one prizers.
Yeah, Dragapult definitely puts that like plan at risk because they're not really trying to take prizes.
Yeah. So I think you lose a lot of value that way. And you play bundle. The only possible inclusion is like a Mew. Not having onboard draw is really sketch, but
yeah, but
I
like
think decks that are gonna exploit you not having onboard draw can just target the Mew anyway.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, like, you're presenting such a powerful Pokemon. Like, you're just presenting hands. If they Iono you low and just, like, pass or whatever, then you just, like, amp them. And if they do KO, you can use something like Heavy Baton to ensure that you have, like, an attacker on board. So you can play to the board pretty well, especially with, like, something Miraidon. If they're having a slow start, you can go Peak Acceleration for one prize, Peak Acceleration for another.
But yeah, it's not my deck.
Then you have, like, a pretty good setup. So
I agree with that.
I think this has quite a bit of...
potential.
I do think like having Techno Raider as a way to set up your board is pretty powerful as well. Like having just like a good
like Techno Radar is a gas card.
Yeah, discard one, get two. All of your Pokemon on the deck are future. Bundle is a future Pokemon as well, which is really handy. Not part of that card that really comes up very much, but it definitely does come up here.
I honestly forgot that bundle was a future mon.
Yeah, it is. You don't have to play Nest Ball. You get to play just like pretty much a strictly better search card.
Yeah, it's an insane search card.
And then we have Town Store for both Heavy Baton future.
Yeah, like Town Store is going to give you a lot of value. Like, and the reason that Town Store is not typically played is just because decks don't have enough tools to have a good enough reason to play it. But like this deck will give you like a good reason to search out a tool every turn.
Yeah, I could also see like maybe flopping the research Iono count here, maybe going to like 3 research, 2 Iono, or even like 3 Iono, 2 research. I could see. I know you're kind of like an aggressive deck, but
I think 4 research is pretty good. I don't know why you're ever Ionoing.
Because you want to disrupt your opponent.
Like, why do you need to disrupt your opponent? You can just go swing, swing, swing.
I don't think that plan works into every matchup.
Maybe
I think
3 research, 2 Iono.
I think you probably would appreciate being able to Iono twice in a game.
Yeah, so I think we just add a switch to this list. It was pretty strong. Yeah, I think this list looks pretty clean. The 4 gear just like makes it so that you don't need as much onboard draw because you're just gonna have a supporter in your hand more often.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with this deck. If you have any like leads on like other turbo decks, I think the only other really viable like turbo
Raging
deck,
Bolt.
Raging Bolt is viable. I don't think it's like
it's doing pretty well in Japan right now in City Leagues.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a real reason to play it though. I think you probably just get dogged on by Terrorbox.
Yeah, maybe it's all the people decide. Maybe it's all the Miraidon players just freaking out and trying to decide what new turbo deck.
I think the problem with like Raging Bolt is it's not really much of like a turn 1 attack going second deck anymore. It can't really do that the way it did before. And you see a lot of them adding in like Noctowl. So you lose like the strength of just like being that really aggressive deck where you kind of need a turn to set up. Like you basically exclusively have to hit like Vessel, Sada, or like I guess you can go like Vessel Ultra Ball. But it's not just as easy as like concealed cards.
Just Radiant Greninja Pokestop.
Real.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the only other like turbo deck I can think of, like I said, is just like the 4 Grass Ogerpon, 4 Lily's Clefairy.
Yeah, which is very strong. Yeah. I think there should be more attention
because that deck attacks going second like
every game.
A lot. That deck is really consistent. Just because you get to like you have 4 Teal Dances, you have 2 Mew EXs, you have Research going second, you have Squawk. And you just you attack off of 1 E-switch basically. So it's pretty easy to get going. You don't need a supporter like Raging Bull does in a Sada. And you don't need to like start a game on a crutch like Miraidon. Like this deck can't really sustain itself off of just going straight for hands going second because you only play 14 Lightning.
Yeah, but like you can just fill in that turn with like a very, very strong 1 prizer. And I think that's what gives this deck kind of an edge over the other decks is like it is a built-in counter to walls, which I really like.
This is true.
Speaking of walls. We love walls.
Sorry, I drooled a little bit.
Yeah.
So walls is a simplistic archetype, but it does what it does.
Yeah,
you present the Pokemon that walls the matchup, and you attack with that Pokemon.
And it's working like very consistently. So like in a Terra box, you can just go like Farigiraf EX plus Milotic, and it covers literally all your bases. And in most matchups, they have this like really menial damage output that they can do to the Pokemon. So then you just play Pokevital A, you play Monkey Dory.
Real.
It's gas.
Mashmashra.
I do think this deck's going to have a big target on it. A lot of people are talking about it on Twitter. But I just think that it's an objectively very strong deck. So, I mean, yeah, you'll be seeing things like Devo and Dragapult.
Lucas, do you think this deck passes the vibe check?
Nah.
No way.
No, I don't think it does. Pokevital A is like kind of weird. I like it.
Pokevital A?
Canadian. I think maybe you can cut it for Hero's Cape, but it's a very strong card. And being able to attach counter gain is very good.
The strongest of cards.
The strongest of them all.
Great
yeah.
card.
Yeah, like this deck is also doing enough damage to the point where you can take out the menial threats. And yeah, it's one of the better wall decks we've ever seen. You like a lot of the popular decks like Dragapult, Terrabox, and Zork did pretty well. Raging Bolt, stuff like that. They all just don't beat this deck. None of them beat this deck. You have to specifically tech really hard to
Tapu
beat it.
Koko EX.
In what deck?
Terrabox.
Yeah.
It one-shots Melodic.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Melodic Weak to Lightning.
Are you talking about the new one or the old one that was like
one.
Revenge?
The new one.
What does that do again?
It does 60 plus 20 for each of your bench Pokemon.
I don't think that's this set. It's the set after.
No, it's legal.
Bro, this is another Stockholm.
No, it's legal.
Okay, put that on something.
On Skippity.
That doesn't
On
mean anything
Sigma,
anymore.
on Riz.
You already put
On Yacht.
you put going to Stockholm on Skibidi.
No. Tapu Koko EX is legal. I swear. You can attack Melodic if you have 4 bench Pokemon.
The only
It
reason
does
that
280.
I'm somewhat believing him is because he's on Pod right now, and I don't
Real.
think he lies on Pod.
No, on Sigma.
So,
Yeah. There are attacks to deal with this. Lucas, what other one? Is it something rude? Rude?
Real.
Is that a good pick?
Zarude's like okay.
So bad.
I don't know,
But it does
I'm
kill
just
Frigoraph plus this guy.
corner. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to think of things that beat it. Yeah, I mean Zarude's an option. It one shots Farigiraf, one shots Cornerstone. Zarude is currently for 2 grass and a colorless, 80 damage plus 80 and return all energies from this Pokemon to your hand. So you play that in Terrabox. It's pretty good because you just return all the grass energies and then you go Teal Dance. So you basically lose no value.
What about the E-switches that you use to get the energy on the Zarude?
Well, you play 1 Crispin attached and E-switched.
Can't Terra Crystal your Zarude?
I didn't say Crystal.
Yeah, you did.
I said Crispin attach and E-switch.
Oh, you said Crispin Crystal attach.
Yeah, Crispin.
Why don't you play Mimikyu in this deck? You should play 1 Mimikyu.
I just don't think you really need to.
But what if you don't get a Girafarig? And then they kill it. And then you're like, oh, man. And then you lose.
Then you TM Evo. You're
No.
Okay.
You never hit the TM Evo.
Yeah, you never hit the TM Evo when you're playing 4 Arvin, triple Pokegear plus triple research.
Definitely no Town Store either.
Yeah, definitely no one of Town Store either.
Definitely not a double TM Evo angle either.
Yeah, definitely not like literally.
Why are we playing Ascension Feebas?
Because Ascension rotates. It's in Silver Tempest.
No! Wait, so that means my alt art Feebasses are the optimal ones now? People are going to want to buy them? Yes! That's fire.
Bro, that's the 2 phases of Landon.
I'm pogging right now. I got a binder. I
Do
got
a pog face. Bean's going
the Wojak?
No, Bean's going crazy in the background.
No way.
W.
He's hitting Sigma on the
Yeah,
beat.
we had to go put the dog into a
And then
different
he
room.
drooled all over me.
No, he did not drool. You spilt water on yourself.
Yeah, anytime I drink water, I kind of intentionally get it all over my shirt because I think it's kind of funny and it's harmless because it's just water. So, like, I drink the water out of the cup and I just let it leak.
I didn't know this about you.
Yes.
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 On Skip. Being able to Crispin and attach like a dark energy to your Monkey Dory is like super strong. So if you hit the insane, incredible, broken, insane combo,
On Sigma.
you can just go like Crispin to Monkey, attach to something, put Pokemon down, and then like Evo on like the first turn. Which I mean you're never gonna hit, but Crispin just gives a lot of value in this deck. Like you can like attack with a
it's
wall
more
in the
so to
second
go
turn.
like attach turn 1
And then
next
like
turn,
attach
Crispin,
attack. Yeah,
attack.
that is what it's mainly for. But yeah, Crispin will give you
Lucas, come on.
what?
Come on now.
I knew that. I know. Crispin gives you a lot of value, especially with counter gain. Like you can go Town Store, counter gain, Crispin, and like actually fully power up a wall in 1 turn. Very good. This deck is going to be one of the most popular decks in the format. You need to be ready for it. Landon, do you have anything else to say about this deck?
Walls. Got him.
No.
I think. What do you think of Pidgeot control post rotation, Mr. Skib Pidge?
I actually think it's pretty good.
What? Please do say.
I've been thinking about it. Well, actually, okay. I haven't put too much thought into it. You kind of just have to like figure out how to adapt to no Rotom, but like decks aren't playing Switch anymore. So being able to go like Ogerpon and then Saw Block with
People have to play Switch. Like the best deck in the format plays double Saw Blocker. You have to play Switch.
I don't know.
It's crazy work.
I'm gonna have to check the
I'm
format
playing
again
Petron
because
EX so we can get our Figuraf.
I have to I have to check the format.
Figuraf EX can't get saw blocked if I play Petron EX. You got 3 dark energies, so you can use subgetting chains.
Bro,
Or no,
okay,
that's
let me
second
talk. I have to figure out. I have to look at the format to see if there is a 0 damage retreat locker. I think there might be. With some, there has to be a corner card in the format. But it's basically just because if you do damage in this format, it's just terrible because you don't have DTE. So
You can't Alakazam it away.
and you can't Alakazam it away either for like all of the prizes. So it's really sad. But I do think that there is potential. Pidgeot control could be pretty good if you figure it all out.
There is the Almastar.
What's the Omerstar? Oh no, that's block lags.
It has block.
Yeah,
But it's a stage 2 fossil.
no, like I'm talking more like Pidgey Corner from like Eternal format. Where are you going? Where?
Let's go.
Yo, Pidgey with corner.
Corner Pidgey's my goat.
Do the entire deck reveal.
The deck profile?
The deck profile.
Yo, shout out. I feel like people are into this. This is fire. I think I've talked about this so much because I love this deck. But we got Pidgeot Control in the Eternal format. We got cards such as Lugia GX. We got Life Dew. We got Clefairy's Pokédoll. You know, we got the most broken support engine.
Oh, where's the other Pidgey?
I know, I got to pull the
Other
Pidgeot
Pidgeot
out
reveal.
here.
Other Pidgeot reveal. Other Pidgeot reveal.
Japanese Buddy.
Oh, gas.
So here's the broken Pidgeot line, for anyone wondering. So we started off, we got 2 copies of the Call for Family Pidgey. So we got a really good basic here to set up with. And then look at this. Control deck, you get a corner Pidgey, so corner is built into your setup
And it does
line.
0 damage.
0 damage. And, you know, we got the Airmail Pidgeotto. So we basically got Dracloak as our stage 1. And then watch this. 1 prize Quick Searcher.
And then
For the grand reveal,
2 prize Quick Searcher.
You know what you can do in the same turn?
You can Quick Search twice.
Both of them and Airmail. So you guess what? You go Airmail, Airmail. Real. Quick search. And you might be asking, how do you get all these colorless Pokemon?
It's the way
Don't
that you
spoil
do it in.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Oh.
Went out with the fan Rotom. So we found Rotom turn 1 for like triple skip Pidge. And then we got turn 2 Winona. Check this out. You get turn 1 triple Pidgey, turn 2 triple Pidgeotto, Airmail.
It's literally Dragapult.
And then the next turn, triple Airmail, quick search.
It's literally
insane.
Dragapult. It's Dragapult.
broken.
Oh no. Okay, let's go back to actual good Pokemon.
Welcome back to
I
Scheduled
do
Program.
like Eternal though. It's
Eternal's
kind of
sick.
fun. It's kind of fun.
I got Eternal Propaganda right here.
Propaganda.
I love propaganda. And then what I think is probably widely considered to be the best deck in the format right now. Terrabox. Just 4/4 knockdown and a bunch of Terra Pokemon and some Crispins.
Yeah,
and
so
E-switches.
I just took the list that did the best in the Champions League, but I don't think you need a Buddy Poffin. I don't really think you need this high of a ball count. I can't fully remember my ball count in my 60 because I just I've been playing for a couple days, but yeah, I don't play Judge. I don't play. I'm not for sure on if Buddy's very good yet. But the rest of these cards are really strong, and that's what I like about Terrabox. You can basically just customize it for literally any deck and any meta. Yeah, I'm also flip-flopping on the vessel count. But yeah, I mean, this deck's just really good. You can you can tech for whatever you want. And I love just playing really random one of techs. Also, that one random 80 HP Hoot that Tord played, I'm 99% sure that card is so bait because you need to be playing 2 of it for it to actually matter.
Why that?
Because if you play 1 of it, they're just gonna go Dragapult. I'll put 10 there, 2 there. Swing. Or
You just beat them anyways.
yeah, and I think you beat it anyway. So I don't think.
So why are we playing 2 copies of Energy Switch? That I can't get behind.
I
the 2
currently
Energy
play
Switch.
triple. I think triple E-switch is really good. You can suffice with 2. You're.
Sorry, I gotta cut you off here. You remember when I was in Japan and I texted the group chat and I was like, guys, I was thinking of this broken 4/4 Noctowl line. You gotta play Ogrepons and you play the Water Ogrepon because no one plays Manaphy anymore. You play Pikachu X because you can power up.
He
some
did
easy.
actually build
I
this.
built this entire deck
Before Fukuoka.
but through a month before Fukuoka. I was a visionary. I knew what was up.
And then 3 did well.
Yeah.
Get his coaching.
Real. And I just want everyone to know that they poo-pooed all over my idea. They're like, wow, that looks like an inconsistent, terrible pile. That's never going to work. And I'm like, guys, they can't get around Pikachu
I didn't
anymore.
hate on it. I didn't hate on it.
And they can't play Manaphy. So
I didn't
Ogre
hate
Pond's
on
just broken.
I didn't hate on it.
And you can get free energies and play with
Landon,
Grass Ogre Pond.
I didn't-
And you get to use
Landon,
broken Noctowl.
I didn't hate on it.
He was hating on it.
I don't think I was hating on it. Everyone else in the group was like, this card's pretty bad.
That seems pretty bad. And I was like, guys, it's broken.
But
It's gonna
I
win the
didn't hate on
Champions
it.
League.
I trusted it.
Nah, you're a hater.
I trust the process, like the 2016 Philadelphia 76ers.
Who does not trust the process?
2018 Philadelphia 76ers? I don't remember. Okay, but yeah, I mean, this deck can just literally counter whatever you want it to be. Like, Clefairy is really good into just every matchup, but especially
Another reason I
Dragapult.
think Raging Bolt sucks is Clefairy. It's just good in like this deck too.
Yeah, and Clefairy is like, it's so gas.
And did you know that the Clefairy doesn't have to be the one attacking?
Yeah, like
So-
you can attack with Mew. You can Phantom Dive.
Real. You could Torrential Pump for 200 on their active Pokemon.
No.
Yeah, makes them weak to Psychic. Ogre Pond's definitely a Psychic.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was so I was very
You
confused.
could
on what
attack
you were
with
doing.
Eon Dive on Latias EX
Yo.
for KO.
Eon Dive is crazy.
Crazy gas.
With 2 Psychic Energy, I have attacked with Eon Dive before.
Pretty good attack, honestly.
It's not a
210.
bad attack. 200 damage is really good. Basically, literally every deck just has nothing to do against Pikachu.
Yeah, they can't watch out unless you have Monkey Door damage. But yeah, most decks they have to have the Monkey Door damage placed for them. They don't have things like Gardevoir as much
Yeah,
anymore.
and Pikachu just one-shots it, so they don't leave any any
Doesn't
damage.
One shot 2 stage 2s. It only does 300.
Yeah, real.
But
like,
yeah, Pikachu. There's no Cologne anymore, and there's much less ways to break Resolute Heart.
yeah, like it's very hard to get around Pikachu, so it just constantly gets you a lot of value. I think Cut Judge from this list plus second Iono, easy change for me. Being able to go like late game, go like Iono Pikachu if you can, especially if you've gone like Sparkling Crystal and Pikachu earlier.
Real.
You can attack with Pikachu later on in the game as well. Very strong.
My favorite line with this deck is you just go attack with Pikachu with a Terra Crystal because you go Crisp and attach, and then it doesn't die, and then you just go attach E-Switch, and you attack with the Pikachu again.
And then you attack with Blood Moon.
Yeah, it's insane. This deck is just like free value. You just get there.
Yeah. I think the deck is
And you have easy
insanely
2
strong.
prize turns with Ogre Pond because just no mana if you
Yeah.
Torrential Pump.
And
you
there's
can
a
go
lot-
Torrential Pump going second.
There is a lot of room in this deck to be creative. I encourage you to do it. That's what I'm doing right now.
And we
I'm
got
gonna-
Buddy. If you got just like the off turn, there's like it's just a toolbox. Like what we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 potential attackers. Also, don't sleep on Assault
What is your
Landing.
10th potential attacker?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Fez?
9, 10.
Fez.
Yeah, Cruel Arrow is easy. You set that up in 1 turn if you need it.
Yeah, I guess, but you would just rather torrential pump in literally every other situation.
Not. What if there's
Assault
a-
Landing is gas though. Assault Landing is like honestly one of your main attacks in the deck. Like in a lot of
Arrow's
matchups.
the goat.
Like
1
you
for
go
70
like
is crazy
yeah,
work.
you just Assault Landing and then they like have to respond. They don't have to respond to it, but if they do respond to it, then they're on odd prizes and you just race them. Like I was playing against a deck, like I was playing some games and like Assault Landing was just like giving me constant value. It would set up knockouts for Blood Moon. It would take like cheap 1 prize knockouts. Yeah, like I think this deck literally has everything you could ever want. I mean, I do think Retreat Lock is really good in this format. So I do think in Atlanta, there's going to be some Sob thing. So, I mean, I might play a second Turo. I'm probably not going to Atlanta.
I'm not going to Atlanta.
Yeah, he's not going to
I'm
Atlanta.
not going to Atlanta. I'm not going to Milwaukee. I'm not going to NASC.
I'm not going to Milwaukee. But I also don't agree with the stuff that's happening in America politically. It just kind of sucks. It's a little bit selfish, but yeah, last senior year, and I would like to make it count. But it's really hard to go there in good faith. Or in good conscience. So, yeah, if I do end up going to Atlanta, which I doubt I will, I might play a second Turo, might play a Switch. But that's not for sure. It depends on what happens online. Like, if there's a lot of Retreat Lock, then I'll probably play a second Switch card. But, yeah, that's really the deck's only weakness.
Aren't you glad that they didn't name Phantom's attack Assault Landon? They didn't shorten it with the slang. Thank goodness they kept it the ing, not the.
Yeah, definitely. Like, there was ever a chance of it saying Assault Landon.
That would be terrible.
Bro, he's, like, headbutting the door.
You know, Bean's a fiend.
Fiend? Bean?
Bean. You know, actually,
Bean.
I did a
Bean.
remix of the popular Travis Scott song called Fiend to my dog, where my dog's name is Bean, and I went, Bean, 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 Bean. Just like that.
Bean.
I actually do that to him sometimes. I'll just look at him and just say that.
Bean.
Real.
That's fire. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about the deck?
Not especially. I just think it's a very good toolbox. We have Ogrepon. We can one-shot Zards.
Yeah, being able to one-shot Zard is like kind of good because Zard didn't do too bad this weekend.
No, it's good. We got a Solana. You got Pikachu. You got freaking Clefairy. You got freaking Mew-EX.
And Blood Moon. Wow.
This deck is sick.
Yeah, I really like it.
And Noctowl. We haven't stated how broken Noctowl
Yeah,
is.
Noctowl is so good. Like, you can literally do whatever you want any turn because you go turn 1 Fan Rotom for Hoot Hoot, Noctowl, and then turn 2 Noctowl. I will do literally whatever I want this turn. The card literally just reads, grab literally anything you want out of your deck. It does not matter. You will get there anyway.
Grab your combo and get there.
You're real.
So real.
Noctowl's gas.
Are those our 4 favorite post-rotation decks?
I don't know. Are they?
I think they are.
I think they are.
So I think that's a bit of a shorter episode today, but it's kind of necessary. I kind of have to go to the airport.
And there's not too much to talk about right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a lull week. We've got kind of just like the end of this format before all the rest of it goes down. Live hasn't hit with post-rotation yet. I think that's next week. So I think we'll have like the online tournament results to talk about once that's on live, and then we'll have just more things to talk about.
Also, shout out to everyone who watched the Gardevoir EX deck profile.
Real.
That vid, I don't know what it is with Gardevoir, but
every time
every time we post a Gardevoir deck profile, it just blows up.
Real. I've got the pre-Wi-Fi on the plane. I should be able to edit some more of those deck profiles. And then it's probably going to be a pretty close to just like daily uploads of the gameplay and deck profiles past month or Tuesday
just to try and get them out.
We got to get them all out. Carson's had a bit of a hold up being able to get them done with some personal issues on his end, but we should have
shout out to Carson.
Shout out to Carson. We should have more of the deck profiles and gameplay out with some of our post rotation decks. Didn't end up recording with this Terra box list because Lucas was like, "Oh, it's not good. You shouldn't play it." So we didn't report any gameplay.
Yeah, okay. The thing is,
it did well.
It was before Fukuoka, and I didn't want just some random
exact deck.
It was good, but I didn't want some random thing to be on the channel. I'm sorry.
I think that you need to play.
Yo, leak this Eternal Hand. This is gas. Wait, this is kind of bad.
No, we got Poffin, Munchlax, I farted, Pidgeotto, Lily's Clefairy, Bunnelby, Gladion.
Oh, what are your 6 prizes?
I don't know, Lucas.
Okay.
Get pranked. He's not allowed to play with my Eternal cards.
Shoutouts?
Shout out to Porta Airlines for delivering me to Halifax safely this evening. That's going to be fire. They got free beveraginos, and they've got free high-speed Wi-Fi. Alcoholic beveraginos for free for pro bono on the plane. They got the snacks on the plane, pro bono.
Dude,
high-speed Wi-Fi, pro bono.
Snacks, the airplane
yes,
snacks.
Lucas loves stealing airplane snacks.
Okay, so what happened? We're flying to London. This guy just randomly walks up to me in the middle of the flight, drops like 3 bags of pretzels, 2 things of two chocolate bars.
Never happened.
Goes back up, comes back, drops 3 more bags, like 4 more or 5 more bags of pretzels. So I end up walking out of this. I think I have like 13 bags of pretzels and like 6 bars of chocolate in my hoodie pockets.
Never happened.
So I think they're just in London somewhere now.
Why'd you steal them all?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I had a lot of garlic and herb pretzels, but I didn't eat them.
Lucas stole them. It was terrible. Lucas is a thief. Air Canada is about to arrest you for real. You're cooked.
For real this time.
But Lucas, shoutouts.
Lost Mind Podcast.
Our Twitter. Follow it up.
Yeah, follow.
We got the
Twitter.
gas.
You can follow my Twitch if you want at Lucas Holdell. I haven't streamed in a while.
Me neither. Follow me at KeelerTCG on Twitter.
I
have not streamed at all.
That's fair.
Now that I am going to be not going to as many events, I'm probably just going to be picking up more overtime at work. So the streaming prospects aren't looking as good, but we'll still be rocking it with the content. So don't you all worry about the Lost Mind going anywhere. But probably going to be less involved in the Pokemon scene for a couple months until we get like confirmation on what the Worlds format is, in which case I'll probably just be testing for Worlds because that's going to be my only major event remaining of the season. So
you're not going to some random event in Europe?
No. But next season, I think it's actually funny. Maybe this is like a soft announcement depending on any changes in the political sphere of the world. But I would like to be... Is it a first if I were to be the only North American player to get my invite without going to any North American events? Oh, sorry, Canadian only. Going to no U.S. events if I went only to EU, LATAM, and Australian events.
Bro, we're gonna see him in Brisbane.
Real. No, I will. I'm
I mean, I might be down.
I'm angry, guys. Sorry.
I'm probably gonna pick up a part-time job. So
Yo, he's gonna work. Real.
I don't really want to. But
I will
got
be
to.
avoiding supporting the U.S. economy for the time being, and if that means that I'll be going to EU regionals.
Didn't you know that by going to one event, it's
Oh,
the
that's
same as
true.
going to 5
Someone in the
events?
comments of my tweet that I made about this, like I just announced, like just said, like I'm not going to more events, and some guys like, well, it doesn't even matter because you're going to Worlds. Why don't you just go to all of them? And I'm just like, yeah, definitely the same economic impact for me going on 5 trips versus 1. That's definitely how that works. Definitely not spending money the 4 other times that I'm going to the place.
Yeah,
so,
but you basically spent. You'll just spend 5 times the amount of money.
Yeah, definitely. So, kind of proving my point, that comment. If I'm being real. But anyways, yeah, follow me on Twitter. I do coach on Medify. I am not accepting students at this time.
Why not?
Because I'm going on vacation and I'm working a lot, and I was feeling a little burnt out with all the coaching I was doing with the amount I was working. So gonna have to rethink how I schedule all of that. So for the next couple weeks at least, I probably won't be taking new students, but
That's fair.
existing ones definitely still I did a session today. So if you are an existing student watching, don't worry, I will still be accommodating you, absolutely. But just trying to figure out what to do with. I was kind of getting a little too busy, so
That's fair.
But anyways, I think that's it for now. Please like, subscribe, comment. Look out for more videos. There'll probably be, before the podcast even comes out, a couple of the deck profiles already up on the channel. So
A couple more because we already have some.
yeah, we have 2 up already, 1 gameplay video, and there's 6 more gameplay videos and 6 more deck profiles. So those will all be up periodically throughout the next week or 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Lost Mind Podcast. It has been me, Skibbity Landon, and Skibbity Lucas. We bid you all adieu. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye. Goodbye.